For this next part, we're going to be mixing our first colors for our base coat of our octopus, and that's going to be our purple, really dark purple, and some of our red. We're going to mix it together and make a nice new color. So you're going to also be using a new brush. It's going to be our medium flat brush. That's the other brush that looks just like the big one, just a little bit smaller. And you're going to make a new little portion over here. Grab some of that purple. And so you're going to get kind of a burgundy color whenever you mix your red and your purple together. It's going to be this like really nice burgundy color. And now you can have any kind of variation of this. If you want to be a bit lighter, that's awesome. But the reason why we're starting dark, because obviously we all know that our octopus is going to end up being a pretty bright orange color. This is because we like to work from our darks to our lights when we're with acrylic paint. And that just allows for you to have more depth, more contrast later on, and it makes it a bit easier on you if we're just building highlights on top of dark shadows. So what we're going to do is go ahead and fill in our octopus, but when we're doing this here, we're not going to be filling in every part of our octopus here. We're going to be filling in the lower portions with our darker color and then immediately grabbing our orange color. Not even having to clean your brush, and filling in the rest of the octopus on the upper portion in this orange color. And the orange is going to naturally mix, obviously, with our red-purple mixture that we just created, and that is all good. We want that. So this is perfect. We're just creating a little bit of variation in our dark color just so that we'll have more form later on. So we're going to concentrate these orange colors on the upper portion, but first we start with the darks and work up to our lights. And again, I'm using our flat brush, our medium flat brush, and I'm using, whenever you hold down this brush like this and you edge around, it's great for edging. So I recommend using it for edging by holding it flat and very slowly moving down the body. Or if you're feeling really confident, you can also flip it skinny side and use it as a fine line tool. See, just like that, a nice rotation. And you can really get this with these more longer flat brushes. So I'm going to mix up a bit more of my paint. That's not purple, not red, get that burgundy color. And then just keep filling it in. And then just know that periodically, after you fill in some of your purple, you go in immediately with your orange. So I'm just grabbing that orange, not even cleaning the brush, and start blending it up. And I'll periodically go over and dip just like the very tip of your bristles in your water, just to get it a little bit more fluid. So it's a bit easier to spread on the canvas, because you see how if I keep painting without getting water or new pigment, you start to get these little holes, these little annoying white speckles showing through your canvas. That's not necessarily because you don't have enough paint. That's because you don't have enough water or medium on your brush. So you just go get a tiny little dab, teeny tiniest dab, guys. Water goes a long way. And continue to spread that pigment around. I'm going to grab some more orange. Go ahead and blend down here. Again, tip a little bit of water. And right here where I have my arm that's going to be in front of all of the rest of the body, I am going to paint over it, just so you guys know, but I can still faintly see my line. So just play that by ear. Know that when you're painting this, to try to maybe put a much thinner coat, so maybe use just a bit more water in that area with your color before you can go in and define that arm in front of the other ones. And grab some more of that orange. And I'm going to take some of that orange and actually put it down here in the lower portion of the arm. And why I'm going to do that here on our number 2 arm is because this arm is in front of our third arm, which is this one right here. And so we want it to stand out. It's in the foreground, and thus it is in front of this other arm that is in the background, and we need to show that visually. And so not only do that by drawing that line over it, but by also the color choices we make and the light choices we make. So we'll be developing that a lot more as we go on. But about right now, I'm going to go ahead and add in some of that bright orange to that arm right there. And while we're still all wet, I'm gonna grab just a tiny bit of a tiny bit of white, and just feather it. Again, I'm using skinny side right now. And feather that guy in there. Now, granted, you don't need to use this tool if you feel more comfortable with another one. So while I'm using our flat brush to do this line work right here, feel free to grab that small round brush that we have and use that as well. This is not a class that I'm going to be grading you on, guys. I'm just here to show you how to use tools and techniques to create certain subjects and effects. And so please feel free to follow your creative spirit. If you have a moment where you're like, actually, I feel like I would rather use this tool over this tool, you don't need my permission. Please use that tool instead and explore. Awesome, awesome. Alrighty, I'm gonna go just define this line just a bit more. And if you decide that you want to have a purple octopus or another colored octopus, please feel free. Just keep in mind, follow this exact same kind of lesson where you start with your darks and blend into your lights. And then as we keep going on, I'm going to show you even more tips and tricks in order to get this nice, beautiful octopus form. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of detail in this guy. So that's why we have our nice pop art atmospheric background, so that we can focus all of our attention on our lovely octopus. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna grab some more orange and keep repeating the process, guys. And take your sweet time, my friend. We are here to have fun and to learn and to relax. And we're gonna define that arm a lot more as we go on. But right now we're just trying to get in all of our paint, fill in our white space. And you see that you'll have these drip marks still showing through. That's a-okay. We're actually going to be painting multiple layers, so you likely will not even really see them, or if you do see them, it'll be very, very faint. And of course, if you like the drips, you can always go back on later and add more drips after we're all done to get that same effect to show through again. So now I'm adding a bit more purple than red to my mix. So you see I'm getting much more purple mix. And that's just because I want to create shadows, or making more depth. So that just means shifting the amount of purple that you add. You just put less red in and just put a little bit more purple in, and that's all it takes. And you get a very nice kind of a magenta or permanent violet color. Now just go ahead and swoop up into this one. Just like that. And of course, we're going to be going in later and doing some refining on our lines. So if you have a little oops or something kind of doesn't show up quite the way you wanted it to, you're all good. We're going to be able to fix it, I promise. Acrylic paint, it's very forgiving. One of the many reasons why I love this medium. Excellent. You're doing so good, guys. We're almost done with our color blocking phase 1. We're going to probably just jump right into the next step because it looks like we already have a pretty dry canvas. Now, of course, if yours is not dry, please just give it a few minutes to get a little bit more settled, and then you'll be able to hop right back in. Again, we're using a little bit more of our purple mix here, which we are going to want to shift over to more red as we get further up the arm. Awesome. Now I'm just going to do some final cleanups right here, going up the body. And now we're gonna clean the brush just a little bit, just get it a little bit wet, and just hop over to that pure orange color. And you see I didn't clean my brush, it becomes kind of a rusty color. And that is all good. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the top of the head. Right there. And also we're gonna go ahead and fill in the little gill area, just a nice soft wash. And a wash is just a colored pigment that has a lot of water in it. And that's what we just did right there. All right, fantastic. So we're actually gonna let this part dry. And then once we get back to our next, we're gonna take a break. And then in the next step, I'll show you how to start layering in your details.